Oh, restroom secured. No, dude, one unfortunate thing that there aren't a lot of restrooms, public restrooms, floating around everywhere, which can make life a bit difficult. Oh, that is why you have McDonald's as a nice fallback. But yeah, Messi, Maradona. Also, you do see Argentine Football Association tracksuits everywhere, which is cool to see. As you know, you have the. It is cool. And generally, if Messi ran for office, he would win. More Maradona. Is that Paredes, perhaps? No, it's not. But yeah, I mean, I encourage you to watch those videos of La Bombonera during a game, and you see the stadium bounce, like literally. You can see the concrete moving, you know, which is not great for structure, but yeah, it's La Bombonera, one of the icons, temples of global football. People do live right next to it. Yeah, think about like the standard like mixed development, commercialization opportunity slop that people mention. And it's like sure Argentine football could use some of that, but you'd also lose a lot of the charm. And of course, far be it from a Yank to lecture others on the needed development choices. Guys, La Bombonera in all of its magisterial form. And since we're here, you kind of have to do the generic thing that is El Caminito. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a lot of pastries at that place. That'll be my lunch. I'll take some to go. Business, because you got two parks. It's not in Palermo. I guess it is Palermo. Not really. Well, either way, very nice feel. But it also is a very nice feel. So I do suppose it is about how old the part of town is, which influences things. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying that, or not annoying, but it's just a thing that yielding to pedestrians isn't as much of a thing as it is in other places in the world. Not sure if this is El Caminito. Of course, El Caminito That's what I would derisively call overhyped, or probably like the classic touristy thing. Although, now that you're here, probably. Well, this isn't LCAT meet, so I'll let you decide, audience. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I was here to be your slightly risk-tolerant vessel through which to see. If that makes sense. But okay, it's not gonna be a great video. I probably should be spending more time, but dude, I am hungry. I do need to drop off this jacket. Cause so I do need to complete the loop, and from there I need to find a collectivo, as they call it. Yeah. But yeah, I'll do this walk a different time. Later. But I'll do it probably from the other direction. I'll probably do like a San Telmo loop. Deep into the city. And then come down that way. That might be the play. Vinos and empanadas. If it had a choripan, the chimichurri, yeah. See it. It is a good food. But I think this is the famous El Caminito. How do I? This means like people say like La Boca's or like ChatGPT says it's not a safe neighborhood, but you can't help but imagine somewhere like this would be, or strange. What is strange just how different things can be. But yeah, people live here. That's also like the interesting part. It's not like these are fancy houses per se, you know. But imagine living next to La Bombonera. They're in game. There's a great video of the Estadio Maradona in Napoli, and you can hear the not every country, not every football culture does the. Dude, it is empty. Is it because I'm not sure if it's because of holiday or something, or a long weekend. So everybody in Buenos Aires left to go somewhere. But yeah, I'll take it. It is now at this point 7:30, so it's not like I'm that ahead of the curve, you know. Never a cop car driving by. I'm very pro-police in certain contexts. Turns out. Yeah, it is also cool to see. I've seen a lot of anti-melee art. I've yet to see a pro-melee thing. But I mean, it's because I haven't spent enough time in Palermo. Potentially. That's probably it. Okay. From here, I could walk along the docks the entire way. Yeah, I'll do a second walk. Well, I'll walk here again later, but maybe I'll do it. Yeah, I do like doing it in the morning though, but being hungry is not a good combination. And of course, this part on Google Maps is called Dock Sud, of course, because there are docks over there. Yeah, the sun's gonna make it miserable, so it's just hard. Or maybe the camera handles it well, but I don't personally. You know, with my biological eyes. So instead, we will hook it, and we will make our way to El Stadio Perón de Racing and the Estudiantes. So I just was, because of how restricted the Boca Stadium is, like it's not like we could do a full tour, walk around like we did Argentinos Juniors. But another Messi. There's a cool mural of course, Dibu Martinez's incredible save versus Colomani in the World Cup. But it's out by San Lorenzo. I suppose I could do a bus. I just go in and out. Maybe I will do that. Now I've got the hang of doing the bus. But you have to use, because it's distance-based fares, so the driver needs to know your fare. So you kind of have to communicate your stop to him. I don't really trust my. I've learned very quickly not trust my Spanish. So it does stress me out. So I refuse to do transfers because I just want to minimize the chances of bad communication or something. But it turns out I thought it was you say the numbers, but you actually just say the actual stop. And now, armed with that nugget of knowledge, I feel much more prepared to handle everything. So now I just spam the bus, and plus the bus does take you. Like it's not the. It's actually probably a. It was like Ariba. Yeah, well, if I can actually, it's given a police presence how empty it is. You know, look at that art commemorating the dock. So that is why all this exists. Well, say on the bus, like everybody pays their fare. Even okay, so hopefully I'll have enough clarity. Yep. To maintain a train of thought. But yesterday on the Colectivo, everybody pays their fare. But coming from the US is very different. Right. Like even when the bus was completely full. So you had to come on, so like normally you enter through the front and you pay at the front and you leave at the middle or back. But yesterday the 32 bus, which you can watch part of that video. The 32 bus was completely full. Look at Malvinas. So 100% completely full. So yeah. So after the San Lorenzo experience, what I ended up doing was, like, since I was there, so I had to get out. Okay. I know the way. So once you're there, like, you're there. But again, it's insane how quickly, like, well, I shouldn't say, that's what I like about cities. It's quick contrast. But so right, very tough. Again, I think objectively, if you think about a favela that was literally the built environment of a Via 21 across the street, and the other barrio next to by the highway. Again, there's burnt plastic in both. People burning plastic or trash in both areas. Which I admit, again, got the best of me. But you cross the highway and you walk a mile, and then you'll get to a park for the Malvinas, like Malvinas Park, El Parque de Malvinas or something. And so they literally had at the park, I think it's actually very moving that they have statues or plaques for every soldier. But at the same time, so the park was actually, it was a nice park. It was a very nice place to reset after the San Lorenzo experience. But it was also super Argentine in a sense. You know, like the eternal flame was not on. You know, got more Maradona, but the eternal flame was not on. You know, that's one. Some of the soldier plaques had bird poop on them, you know, which again is understandable. Pigeons are everywhere, but there's a dynamic where I'm not sure if well, I haven't been to Arlington Cemetery in a very long time. I don't particularly. I will say one thing. Like the park itself, like it's a big area. But it's like it's not an infinite thing. I think a limitation to Arlington Cemetery is how big it is, right? Like it's hard to empathize with numbers, right? But I think the fact that you can spend like 10 minutes and you could walk the entire park and you can see every plaque. Like, I think that's a very powerful motif. Which I think does convey the message effectively. So, yeah, of course, this video, so I would have uploaded a couple of videos ahead of this one because those videos I recorded on my phone. Right, this, of course, is on a camera, which won't have access to a SD card reader to upload it for a while. So here we are making do. So the timeline will be a bit jumbled, but you can enjoy the bus ride and other things in the meantime. Skip the main road because it's a bit noisy. But I'm sorry, guys. The commentary is horrible, but again, like that place, like I found another place, Lord Race. Also sold 1,000 peso pastries, but those pastries I think were a bit more of the earthy. As you expect from it, given that it's literally a hole in the wall. For this bakery, it's in Palermo. We're kind of close to the like Latin American Museum-ish. So it's a much nicer area. And also 1,000. And you can pay with a card and get charged the same. And the pastries are like legit. Hey, oh my gosh, por favor. Quiero. Oh. Honestly, if I do it there for the rest every day, I think actually that works out because it's a nice walk in the morning to get from where I am to there. When I switch hotels, it'll be faster as well. And it is genuinely, oh, again, what am I here for? I'm here to walk. That's kind of all I am here for. So, and doing random things. Yeah, but people are unfazed by. I think that bus on the 32 bus, 32, yeah, yesterday. Yes, okay. So I'll upload the part of the video, but yeah, it just was very. So it's one of those big bus depots, right? So if you've seen one of them. One of the big transportation hub depots where you've got the BRT infrastructure if we had like the stands in the middle of the road, one of those places. And you see how the lines can get long? And actually, the lines got long, but then also behind me, of course, it's a train station as well, right? Because there's a transit hub. So behind me there was some like evangelicals or some people evangelizing. But then all these guys wearing red vests came out carrying tables. As what's going on? And then they're also doing like a food bank. Not a food bank, but like handing out meals. Again, which is cool. But the food bank line was also very long. And there were like kids in line. And then at the same time, people were honking horns because of Lanús winning. So if a personal weakness is just having a hard time sometimes squaring, or it's just very obvious to me when there are big discrepancies or big contrasts. I certainly think yesterday showed it. So I'm not doing a good job explaining my thoughts. I am rambling. And after I've probably walked 200,000 steps over the past 4 days since being here. So my legs are now kind of chopped. I actually do need to stretch. I do need to remember to stretch before walking. So hopefully getting those pastries, sitting in a park, I'll reset. I think for today, I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything. I'll take an easy day. Tomorrow, I can check out a different. Again, I just want to find a hole in the wall place. A nice hole in the wall place where I can get a hearty meal. I'm not trying to do a grill thing because I think that's just a bit complicated. But I just want a nice milanesa con fritas. And that's what I'm in a mojo for at the moment. A nice hearty meal. I don't want a pizza. I don't want a hamburger. No quiero pizza. No quiero hamburguesa. I want a real meal. While also not doing a full sit-down service. I don't know. It is like if I want a fancy restaurant. I reside in the DMV. If I want fanciness, we got plenty of fancy stuff around me. Again, I will say also, I think in my blog, I'll make this point. There are two types of traveling, right? The familiar novelty, right? You want to do something different, but you want to do it in a different setting. And you want, but you ultimately want what's different to pretty much be the same. And therefore, you end up in Western Europe. You end up in France or Italy or, because, you want something different, so they speak a different language and it's a different setup. And it's more walkable. Bam, so you end up in Western Europe. Right? So people cling to the familiar novelty. Or that's why people go to Cancun, right? What's the difference between Cancun and Atlantic City? It's not a huge difference fundamentally, right? Beach town. You know what they're going to give you. You know what you're gonna get. So right, so that's traveling for the familiar novelty, for the different novelty. Or you can do, or just do things that are completely different. And it's harder to define because what's different? You're not working when you're traveling. So of course it's going to be different. Because you have a full day, you don't have to worry about things. I still check my email. And so, of course, I'm 2 hours ahead. So I was extremely confused seeing the times certain meetings were being scheduled. Like, that doesn't feel like yeah. I was talking to friends, like, dude, I didn't know nonprofits did those things. And the joke is, you just need to work for a big nonprofit. Looks at the Red Cross or looks at the tax filings. So, yeah, so I can't say, again, so none of this is to self-aggrandize myself, but I do think when you look at like the recommended travel list versus what I've done, what I've seen, I don't know. Like there is some overlap. I did see El Ateneo, which is a very cool bookstore, and which is very impressive. I think that is actually very cool. It's something that you should see. But I think also, like visiting Lanús is also 100% perfectly fine and very cool. To see Lanús win yesterday was very cool. You know? Again, like Lanús, very easy to get to. Just get the Sube card. Actually, I will somehow, given how not specific the guides online are about the Sube card, like how to get to the airport, how to load it, like somehow I will actually become the preeminent resource for future tourists somehow. Is my objective. Okay, here you can see like how it is much more of a just a dock area, as you can say is less interesting. Or is more cruddy, or what have you. But yeah. But yeah, if you want to go land to see the town center, like that's different. Again, I think perfectly safe. I do think the risk of phone grabbing is real, but that's just, do basics. Like don't hold it out into the street, or don't just check your shoulder, the basics. But otherwise, I'm starting to think bodily harm. And again, I'm not going to Via 31 or what have you. So again, like, I just suppose that's the thing. Like, you don't, if you're not trying to seek it out, then it's not going to find you. I didn't seek out. And again, this could all go horribly wrong, because it only takes one person to steal your phone, and then I'll certainly be kind of screwed for the rest of this trip. Yeah, I probably do need to make it back up. My next hotel thing. But again, like, you don't seek it out, right? Like, I genuinely, like, San Lorenzo is a big football club. And it is a gorgeous stadium, by the way. Like, beautiful blue and red color scheme. But like, I'm just surprised by how quiet it is. It's not that late on a Sunday. I mean, like, we walked the obelisk. The obelisk was pretty full. I do need to watch my step. Some of these sidewalks are a bit weird. If I sprain my ankle. Okay. No, it'd super not be good. But yeah, it's very quiet. Very nice thing. Momentary. Maybe people are acting up. I don't know. I just think Buenos Aires. I'm not sure how Santiago will compare. I suspect it won't compare as well. I do think another thing is just the amount of trees, like the purple flowers. Being honest, it's doing so much to help with the vibe. Like, it does a lot, but it does look very nice. So who's to say? It does look nice. Like, no person that Santiago it's just not going to have as much tree cover. I think the trees help. I think you can probably say, like, some places feel kind of samey. Like, I think, like, certainly, like, if I'm being honest, like Lanús and Banfield, like the single family housing areas, like, it doesn't look like the houses are not in great condition. And like, the yards aren't great. But the fact that there's trees does make it look nice. And does pick up a lot of the slack. You know? That's a very cool little mural setup. Okay, you got the Fusabella. That's pretty cool. That's a nice setup. The other nice thing I've been enjoying. So again, like, it's a familiar novel. So boba here, 5,000, 6,000 pesos. So $4. Okay, I'm like being fair. Boba is probably one of the most generic, globally commodified things, but it does taste good. Who am I to? For certainly, again, if it's $4, like, and then, like, to get a mate, like, hey, it's not like mate's a Starbucks thing, right? So that's one. So. And it's too, like, I will say, like, I don't think, or mate, it is, I'm sure it is widely consumed, but it's not consumed in a performative way. Like, although where you're walking around with it. Although you do notice, people do walk around with it, so it is noticeable. Because the mate and the straw, it is a very distinctive look. Okay, yeah, this is right, objectively a less nice part of town. But again, right, I see those trees and everything is good. Everything is reset at that point, you know? Again, the trees are doing so much work. Again, like, dude, like, look at this. The trees are doing so much work. So honestly, if there's any lesson to a city planner, like Buenos Aires is clear on how to make a city look nice beyond its parts. It's literally just tree coverage. It is that simple. Genuinely. Of course, the issue with trees is that you can't really accelerate the process, can you? It takes time. So it's, but again, I think that does show, right? Like, true cities have history versus everything. Or it's just different stages of development that have been required at different parts of a city's life. Is it right? Yeah, but again, it's like a competitive advantage, right? That won't go away. Like, if you have the tree coverage, you know, if you have the trees and the other guy doesn't have trees, your tree's at a higher slope or starting point at the Y intercept. You know? Well, that's cool. That is very cool. I guess this is one of the bus depots. Dude, these buses, again, like, also, like, the bus is genuinely incredible to watch, especially when it's rush hour. See how fast these buses go and how quickly it comes to a stop, how tight the turns they make are, how